Okay. Researchers claim they may have found it in Turkey, referring to Noah's Ark. That's interesting, guys. I mean, there've been a couple of people who have said that they found it, um, but let's go and see where this takes us immediately. I'll kind of wait to comment a little bit later here. All right. This is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's check it out.
One of the great endeavors of archaeology is figuring out which events described in the Bible actually happened.
Okay.
We know Jesus lived, had a lot of followers, and that he was crucified. That is all historical fact. It's what happened after he was crucified that depends on your faith.
Right.
But with the emergence of modern astronomy and evolutionary biology, the book of Genesis hasn't held up as well. But hang on, because researchers in Turkey now claim they found indisputable evidence that the story of Noah's Ark was not a cautionary tale about the consequences of forsaking God, but a verifiable historical event.
All right.
The team at Noah's Ark's Scans says this is the final resting place of Noah's Ark. Well, how do they know? Well, they started with the renderings of the ship based on the book of Genesis, in which God gave Noah detailed specifications on how to build the ark.
Heavily
the team
detailed.
claims those scans align almost identically with a rock formation in the Disruptor site of eastern Turkey. It's near Mount Ararat.
These are the timbers of the ship.
Yeah, guys, they've been out there looking for Noah's Ark in that specific region right there for a really long time. I mean, I think one of the first people that did this, I think it was like 1960 or something like that, guys.
That's what we're looking at.
It's amazing.
Joining us now is the lead archaeological researcher of Noah's Ark Scans, Andrew Joins, joining us live from Turkey. Andrew, great to have you on. First things first, how long have you and your group been looking for Noah's Ark?
Well, personally, I've been interested in the stories as a child. I first heard about it from Ron Wyatt, who came out to California when I was in middle school. I then came out to see this site that was discovered in 1959 by Captain Durupandar, and we started our research in 2019 on the site.
All right, what makes you think that what you have found is actually Noah's Ark and not some sort of, geological anomaly?
Well, first of all, it was noticed because of the ship's shape. And this is the only shape people saw out here in 1959 that got the world interested, because it's in the mountains of Ararat, just like Genesis 8:4 says in the Bible, where Noah's Ark landed. So we're in the right area. We have a shape of a ship. And then when you look at the size of it, it is exactly 300 Royal Egyptian cubits. That's what Moses wrote in the book of Genesis. And so, either that's a coincidence or we're looking at the right object. And then we started doing scans. And these are non-destructive geophysical scans that can peer below the soil like radar and ERT, and they're showing a pattern of structure that you would not expect in nature. And then just last year we did soil testing on the site, and we found out that it has almost 3 times as much organic matter inside the boat formation versus just right outside it.
Yes, that definitely looks to be maybe 30, 40, 50 feet or so beneath the actual the surface, guys. Here's the thing. I have no idea why we haven't just started digging, guys. All right. We need to pull this up. If there are so many people that have been saying that it is absolutely in this region, then why have we not started digging it up, guys? I think we need to, if that's the case here. There will be a lot of people that would either have a lot of questions, let's say, or it can shut also a lot of people up here. Now, there will also be a gigantic push towards religion, specifically. If you are one of these individuals who believe that people have for the most part strayed away from religion, and you would like to bring people back into some type of spirituality, then I think the smartest thing in the world would be just to shut everyone up, guys. Right? I'm trying to. I would say here. How about this here? I would say this here. The amount of people that would come specifically into either Islam or Christianity would be crazy, because the concept of Noah's Ark has been referenced in both books of worship, guys. Right? So I think in the Bible they reference it within Genesis, and they talk about Noah's Ark. Obviously, in the Quran they refer to it as the prophet Noah's Ark, basically. So it would just bring people into some form of of spirituality. Same story, just different ending. If that makes any sense here, guys.
Yeah, so you did the soil samples. You found potassium in the soil, which indicates that wood was there, right?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
That's one
the biggest
indicator.
thing, though, is that because we have a higher organic matter, and if you look at the photos of the site, you will see that this is a ship shape sitting on a mountainside. And so if it's just part of the mountainside, you would expect to see the exact same chemical analysis from inside versus outside.
How
But we're
deep?
finding that
And around it
inside
also.
is different.
How deep underground is this?
So some of the scans, for example, the radar, we're getting data down to about 30 feet, and it's showing subterranean structures and cavities. So there's a possibility that some of these rooms, or you can call it cages or whatever, they're not filled in yet with mud and material, but they're still open spaces.
Okay, guys, really quickly. So I'm looking at this here. I have absolutely been around the world and seen a couple of like dolmens is what they're called here, guys. Like, so specifically in the south of Spain, there is a something that's similar to this here. You're definitely going to find organic matter. You're definitely going to find chambers. These are basically burial mounds. They also did them in North America. Also, the Native Americans did this. If you're finding a gigantic portion, let's say, or amount of biological matter, potassium, etc., then you're definitely most likely finding a dolmen potentially, right? I mean, they are scattered all around the world. I don't want to take away from the actual the alleged discovery here, guys, but it could legitimately be a gigantic burial mound because I have no idea what they thought they were. In the city called Antequera, specifically, there are 3 dolmens. They call them the dolmenes or something like that, guys, right? They're absolutely stunning to encounter. They look just like this, and they have wood. They have wood and rock structures, and they were basically made for burying important people. If that makes any sense here. So I wonder if they are dolmens. I would absolutely love to encounter some more dolmens specifically around the world here, guys. Absolutely, if that's the case here. But if it is Noah's Ark, that's a whole new story to latch onto, guys.
You know, if you haven't
Tourism would go
perused
crazy.
the book of Genesis lately, it's kind of shocking how many like exact measurements and instructions the book of Genesis claims God gave Noah, like 3 decks this big. I mean, is it really that specific? And does that match what you're finding?
Yeah, so over time you expect a wooden ship to decay, but we are noticing that there are layers of material just only inside the ship shape, and we're getting actually 3 big thick layers, and then in between those layers we're
Are they
finding
dolmens?
a central tunnel, like it could be a central hallway, and then to the sides of those we're finding these shapes, these right angles that suggest walls and rooms.
You're not the first person to claim to find Noah's Ark. Do you think you are the real one to find Noah's Ark?
Well, we hope so. And, until another site is found that matches, we're going to keep pursuing the research here.
All right. Andrew Jones, utterly fascinating.
Okay, guys. So here's the thing. Okay, I just had to quickly research things. I wanted to know if dolmens absolutely have been found in Turkey. Yeah, they have been, and they seem to be all over the place in Turkey. They're huge. They're massive, guys. I mean, there's apparently one near the Bulgarian border. Let's see, and it's about almost 4,000 years old. There's also a couple in southern Turkey. There's also some more in southeastern Turkey, specifically, very close to Mesopotamia, right? So, I want this to come true. Let's say specifically for those who need it to come true. If that makes any sense here, because I think this could absolutely either bring people closer to their their figure worshiping figurehead, potentially, guys, right? It would bring people a lot closer to that specific thing. Like, if you want to dedicate yourself to the belief of something, I think you should most likely go all in with it, right? And I do think that this could easily bring people very close, right? But I'm also a cynic when it comes to some of these findings, right? Because again, I've literally been to a good amount of UNESCO World Heritage sites. I spent about a decade chasing like the seven wonders of the world type of thing around the planet, right? And I've encountered so many of these dolmens like around the world. What he just described, it sounds like he's describing a gigantic dolmens, like a burial ground. Like it sounds like that's what he's describing. But if it is, again, but if it is Noah's Ark, guys, that will do very well, specifically in Islam. That'll do very well in Christianity, right? Absolutely, guys. Right? But all right, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm in the camp of believing that it's most likely a burial tomb. Look at the shape of it, even. Yes, like the shape of it, like how it's coming up, because they normally are like the pyramid-esque, right? Like thin at the top and wide at the bottom, right? He's saying that they're finding pathways. Yeah, there are pathways in dolmens. Definitely. But all right, let's see what this takes us, guys. Absolutely. If there's more to the story, I'm definitely going to dig into it. But again, I have to always kind of remain exactly, who I am, and who I am is someone who chases the truth in the matter of everything, guys. Right. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Let me know in the comments what you guys think.